Today's Monday, September 16th, 7 a.m. I'm not even going to tell you where I get my information from anymore. There's no point. Just know that it comes from a variety of watching. Just watching everything. Let's start with I'll probably be jumping all around here because I had all these ideas in my head last night. First of all, JuDaS takes the money this time. JuDaS takes the money with him this time around. JuDaS takes the money with him this time, because the last time, before he went back to his own place, he was deceived. He didn't know. He just didn't know. So last time, JuDaS took the money, but he gave it back. This time, JuDaS takes the money with him, because this time JuDaS takes the money with him. This time JuDaS takes away the money with him, because JuDaS this time around takes the money with him. Interpret it how you want, but this time around, JuDaS isn't just taking the money and running along. He's taking the money with him. So he's going to take the money. It's nice looking. October, let's see, October 11th is when the battleship's going to get sunk. The New Orleans Saints, they lost to the Rams, and they lost. See, last week I said when the Saints are playing the Texans, I thought the Saints would win 27-9. This time around, this week, the Saints lost to the Rams, because the Ram, comes heading into the Saint, and the Ram destroys the Saints on 9/27. The Saints lost yesterday 9-27 to the Rams. Football is tied into it. It just is. I will say this about Sunday Night Football, because Sunday Night Football, the Eagles are playing the Dallas Cowboys Sunday night. Man, look at that thing. Now that's a freaking ship, right? The seventh game of the season. See, the sixth game of the season, the Eagles are playing. I think they're playing Minnesota, the Vikings. No big deal. The seventh game, and that's on October 13th. It's not at home, so I have to just say that DJ, right? Because there's DJ, there's JuDaS, who's going to take the money this time, and then there's SJD. Now DJ, Dishon Jackson for the Philadelphia Eagles, will tie into the story of SJD as the Eagle, as he's running down the sideline, as Dishon Jackson's running down the sideline on that appointed day where the explosion goes off on the sideline, and because they have helmets already, they're wearing helmets. When the explosion goes off, a terrorist attack in the football stadium during an Eagles game, not sure which one, but between the 6th and the 7th game, because the 8th game is I believe the 8th game is like October. Would that be October 27th? Because October 20th is the 7th game for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like 7 weeks. October 21st is the 8th year since we were warned, about that warning of judgment and the world coming to an end as we know it. October 20th is the 7th game of the Philadelphia Eagles season, going into the 8th game of the season, playing the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Now, Al Michaels, the reporter for Sunday Night Football, well, he was talking to, now I have to say this because it's the only reason why it makes sense. He was talking to his sidekick, and I heard a key word. And the key word was, we were supposed to see an explosion, Michael, on the sidelines. with whoever, whatever, and however. I don't even know what he was talking about. All I heard was explosion, sidelines. Like, oh, explosion. Oh, we're supposed to see an explosion. Like an explosive team or play, or maybe he was talking about DJ. Maybe he was talking about Dishon Jackson. Because there's when you play a house of cards, right? You got the 9 and the 10. You got 9, 10, and then you got the jack and the queen, and then the king. So you have the jack and the king. So Jack is the son, per Dishon, of the king. The king has a son of per Dishon. So the king is, well, he's king. You know, he told you, I am king, whether you want to believe it or not. And he has a son named Jack. JD and SJD and JDS are intertwined with Philadelphia. Spiritually, literally. You know, why did Dishon Jackson come back to the Eagles? To get a wounded head, maybe? I don't know. To run down the sidelines with, and then all of a sudden, an explosion happens, and then because they're already wearing helmets, as the plot thickens, and you see action from Action Jackson getting a wounded head with his helmet on, you won't be able to tell. You know, players just lay there unconscious, like you don't know. I believe this is going to happen to a variety of people. There's going to be people, key players in this world and in the script, that are going to have some kind of wounded head and did live. They already started to throw it out there with this Philadelphia shooting, the cops getting, 6 cops getting shot on August 14th, and the one cop had he got a grazed, wounded head. He did live, but he was thinking about his 9 and 10-year-old sons as he got a wounded head and then did live. So it's going to happen again. I feel like it's going to happen to Dishon Jackson in the 6th or the 7th week of football. And on 9/27, the Saints lose. They lose. On 9/30, well, 9/27, that would be my 908th day since I started YouTube. And then September 30th will be the 911th day. And then here we are into October. The beginning of October, 21 days. So the theme of explosions. Alright, I'll just say explosions. There's a theme going on with explosions. Al Michaels is telling you. Yesterday's game was, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Cowboys when they play on the 7th game of the year. Because Al Michaels, see, I'm not going to tell you where I get the rest of the information, but this part here I'll tell you. Fine. I'll tell you. It's because of Al Michaels. He's the one that said it. He said that we were expecting explosions on the sidelines. Which means when Dishon Jackson runs down the sidelines, there's going to be an explosion. Because his name is Dishon. Period. That's it. That's the reason why. He is going to get a wounded head because Dishon, Stephen James Dishon, JD, James Dishon, something similar is going to happen to him. DJ Dishon Jackson has to take the same role on the sidelines, because that's what I heard. I heard sidelines, I heard explosions, and you got Dishon, who's the son of who is the Jack. His name's Jack. So he's the son of Perdition. And then on October 11th, the battleship will sink. On September 27th, the Abraham Lincoln will be destroyed. Abraham Lincoln Financial Field. Field 2 will be in the field. 1 will be left. 1 will be taken. to be examined for a few days. These events are being canceled until further notice. They're there. The script is there. They will happen. Now, there's a little trick that the elite quite possibly could be playing. And the trick is hold off on the events until further notice. The further notice is when the Saints lose. When the Saints lose to the Ram head on September 27th. Once they lose, once there's a crowning of the false Messiah, Jonathan Kleck is the YouTube one, and then Stephen James Sean is the real fake one, like the top fake one. I know a lot of people are jealous of him. I get it. You just got to relax, people. All right, he's the one that did all the work. I'll give it to him. He did a lot of work. He did a lot of work. I don't know if he planned on doing all that work. I doubt it. If I didn't appear, he would just be flourishing in his palace, like nothing else. But I did appear, so I did appear, and then I got him to rise up, because what you need to do is you light a fire under someone's ass, get them to rise up to show themselves as to who they are. That's all I did. I just spoke a few words, said a couple things here and there, and then he just relentlessly couldn't stop. So that event that takes place, there's a bunch of them that take place, but they're held up until, like, when I can't get back on YouTube and say whatever it is that's happening and show proof of what I said before I thought would take place, and then it does take place, because of simple things like these are the ways that I get my information. It's one guy over here will say this about that, but you can tell that he's an elite mouthpiece. And then when it comes to football is, it's like gladiators running around, and it's all connected, like, to the higher up. The scripts that are being written and played out. The Eagles winning the Super Bowl the past 2 years ago, exactly the way it just seemed like they would, and then the next year not going, and then this being the year that all the Bible prophecy is being fulfilled. This is the year. The end of this year. Next year, 2020, is like, oh, wow, I can see. That's crazy. Like, I now have 2020 vision, because the symbolism is everybody can finally freaking see 2020 vision. 2019, it's the fall of man. We're in the fall right about now. Man is getting ready to trip and stumble over a stumbling block. Every one of them. Except for a couple that can see. See, there's a few people that already have 2020 vision. I can see the year 2020 clearly and what it's going to look like. But this year here, absolute, complete, total catastrophe starting right here in Philadelphia. First, and it begins with 9/27, when the Ram destroys the Saints and pummels them, and then there's no power in the Saints left, because they're worn out. But from that point on, as soon as the Saints get silenced. It's the beginning of freedom, people. If you can't see that, well, then you're just going to continue to have fear and anxiety about everything. Because when money starts collapsing and it's not worth anything, and it's so obvious that it's not going to ever get better, when it comes to that theme of dollar bills, man, that is the time where I start doing my cartwheels. It is. The more destruction that happens, look, is it real or is it not? Well, one thing's for sure. One thing that is real is that I am sick of the fakery and the lies. So I want it to happen because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's like a slow death. Just come on. Just if I'm gonna die, let's go. Let's see what this is all about. So these events that are being prolonged, man, you know, I might as well write a 21-day. Well, I think I did this before, didn't I? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But everything gets prolonged, so. But I think I want to write a 21-day script from August 1st to the 21st. And then I want to write a 10-day script after that, because there's everything's prolonged. When there's 10 days being played out, like the final last 10 days, which really looks like it's going to be from October 11th to October 21st, is the 10 days of scripted end of the world-esque-ish type of an ordeal. And it would end with the Eagles and the Cowboys and Dishon Jackson running down the sideline and a bomb going off, an explosion. I mean, I'm sorry. Man, he's explosive. Dishon Jackson is. He is the son of perdition. He's explosive, running down the sideline as an eagle flying, and then with his wings going to be clipped until he stands up like a man, because Stephen James Dishon, the eagle, has already had his wings have grown like eagle's wings, and his nails like the bird's claws for once 7 times full times. When 7 full times passes by, and it lands on October 21st, which is 7 full years of passing by, where he gets to stand up, on his own. And because what he has to do, and this is the funny part, even to his closest buddies, like his closest Satanist buddies, right? The ones that are they were promised to run and rule the world. The Satanists, the ones that don't give 2 shits about humanity at all. The ones that could care less if people die right here in Philadelphia. Well, right here in America, but especially here in Philadelphia where it starts. His buddies, right? He still has them believing that they're going to, yeah. Hey, Steve, we're still going to rule, right? Yeah, of course. Well, what about Robin? Everything he's saying, it's coming true. Please, relax, all right? I'm king, I told you. All right, Steve. Well, I was just checking because, how Satan is. He's a little insecure. He's kind of gets a little worried about things. Yes, we need confirmation daily, because because what Robin keeps saying is, I hope it doesn't happen, but it keeps happening. So I don't know, man. I hope he's wrong again. I mean, for the first time. I mean, what? So Steven's boys, man. Man, that's this is the most amazing part about it is I love when people doubt what I'm saying. I love that part. I love when they doubt it. Because maybe it's a little bit selfish on my end, but complete total satisfaction comes from a lack of faith and then seeing the proof and then just kind of saying a little bit like, I told you so. I told you so. I know it's prideful. I get it. You know, sometimes pride sneaks up there, but you know, whatever. So to Steve's boys, his closest boys. Man, you guys are getting a little nervous, huh? Tiny bit nervous. And then I'm telling you, yeah, it's just my opinion. That's all it is. Just an opinion. This is a channel. You can change the channel if you don't like my opinion, or you continue to watch and just be disgusted with it, which is what I prefer, by the way. Stay tuned and stay disgusted. Because when you were promised to rule this world with Dishon over there, right? And the promise was look, when we blow up Philadelphia, let's just continue on and just kill everybody. Let everybody just, who cares? We don't even care about freaking human beings. God doesn't care about you either, does he? So let's just get rid of them, and then we'll live unhappily ever after and just disgusted all the time and hateful and just walking around pissed and angry and loving it. Loving every minute of it, being so pissed at humanity and not realizing that you're so weak-minded when you're walking around super pissed off at everything. Like, what is your problem? Anger is weakness. When you're walking around angry at people, you're weak-minded. Love is... It's gay. Love people, yeah. Alright, alright. The people that you're ready to kill loves you, Satanist. We do. That's why we're reaching out for you constantly. You guys, the ones that swear that you know it all because you guys are awake before we were. Yeah, it's fine, you're awake before we were. But you're weak-minded because you're still angry at everybody. Anger is a weakness that you're just following through with Satan. He's puppeting you along on strings. I know you think you're cool, but you're not when you're walking around severely angry, hating everybody. Alright, I'll lay off. Look, you guys thought that you were going to rule the world with Stephen James Dishon as your anointed king that wants to kill Christians. Well, that's what he wanted to do. That's what he was supposed to do until he seen Christ in his heart. He knew that was Christ in his heart, in his conscience, rising up. He's not going to tell you. You're just going to find out the hard way. If you can't see him, what he's doing, that's on you. So for you guys, yeah, you'll get your victory. Of course you do. You get a short time victory. It's always going to be prolonged another 3.5 days from the time that even you guys get victory from the timeline that you're expecting to get victory from. I'm just telling you it's not going to happen. I wasn't promised by any man anything. Nobody promised me anything. I don't have any proof towards anything that I'm saying. I got no backing whatsoever. I cannot possibly grab something and say, here's the proof that this is going to happen. I can only show you the proof of what did happen. I can't show you the proof of what is going to happen, people. Okay? Understand that. every word that comes out of my mouth is unprovable. It means you can't even prove it, you know? It's unremarkable. You cannot even make a remark about it. But know this from history. Everything that I said would happen, I can prove it. I just can't prove it that it's going to happen beforehand. But after it happens, sure, yep, I can go right back to the video and prove it. But when I'm shut down and 9/27 comes around and the Saints lose by the Rams, I can't prove anything to. I can't. They're kicking me off the mountain. I can't scream from the rooftops anymore because my testimony is finished. It already reached the main person that it needs to reach, all right? And that's SJD. It's the main person in social media that I needed to reach. So I did my job. He's going to do his job. He's thoroughly going to enjoy screwing you guys over, the Satanists. The ones that have not changed your heart. Well, you're going to, because he's your freaking king. It's better to have known who he really is now than to know who he is when it's time for him to show you who he is. Because there's people that are, there are his colleagues. There are some that know exactly what he's doing. His really closest buddies. But there's his group of people, the angry ones that don't have the love in their heart. They can't find it anywhere. You guys are the ones that it's gonna hit hard, okay? This is the punishment. This is where you stand in shame. Because what are you gonna do? All that money that you got, that was promised, it's all coming to an end. The money. JuDaS is taking the freaking money this time with him, all right? He's taking the money away this time with him. He's taking the money. All that money that you took, what are you going to do with it? It's not going to be any good. We will not be using dollar bills. The year 2020, it's over. Even before that, but 2020 and beyond is money. It's not about money. It's going to be currency, a specific currency, but it's not money. So that's where you guys are going to stand in shame, big time, when you finally realize that you can't spend all that money that you guys took, because you guys are the JuDases, for real. The Antichrist, many Antichrists in the world, but there's one main one